Thank you for joining us from around the world. Welcome to Global AI Community Tour, and we are getting ready to speak with Dawood and Iddris. If you have any questions during this session, please feel free to post them in Global AI Community. Dawood is a software and co-founder of TechLoud Inc. He's a backend developer for Effect Studios and also a Microsoft student partner. He's a software developer who passionately creates products and changes lives with his soft and technical skills by training others in events, workshops, and providing platforms for coders and non-coders. Thank you, Dawood, for joining us and looking forward to your session, Understanding AI Capabilities with the Journey of an Infant. Thank you.
It's absolutely a pleasure. Thank you so much. Awesome. So I guess we are ready to kickstart it, right? Okay, so today I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone joining us across the globe and meeting for us to share, ideas and then knowledge on this important subject matter, artificial intelligence, in this era. And already AI is playing, a huge role in this season that we have. I mean, this crisis going on across the globe. And I, in particular, share a key interest in ensuring that people across the globe understand, concepts, being it basic or complex. I like to use real-world examples that can really, portray the subject. Okay, so today I'll be taking us back to the day that we stepped our foot on earth, right? That was the day that we were given birth to, right? That was the day that we came into existence. And if we can all try our maximum best just to remember that day, I think it will be great. So just in the audience, who might be able to remember the very day that, he stepped foot on earth, right? And when I think about artificial intelligence, the word artificial brings something to memory, and that is, natural or nature, right? Because that is just the right opposite of it. And when we talk about intelligence and then artificial intelligence, then it means that we are sharing, key interest in, devices being able to mimic what we human beings are capable of doing. So just for me to move on my next slide. Awesome. Yeah, so taking you back to the journey where I and you came from. Yes, so we were kids. We came into existence, and then from there, we grew with time. I mean, with time, with months and weeks passed by, and years comes, and then we became, like this guy in the picture, who could, see the mom or see the brother and then smile hugely to the brother, and then the brother feels, so much excited. Now, in the transition from the day we stepped, our foot on earth to the day that we became like this guy who could actually look at you and smile, right? And you smile back, or whether you frown or something. I mean, sentiment is in place as of now, right? You see, this child has been able to learn hugely, right? So,
and Dawood, you
yeah.
could probably minimize the Skype message screen. And
Oh,
yeah,
okay. I do not,
and I
sorry.
or move it
Okay.
off. Okay, thank you.
Is that okay?
Yes,
Awesome, awesome.
it's a very cute picture.
Oh,
Sorry to
thank you, thank you.
interrupt.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sure. So I will just share a link to where exactly I got this picture, so you are able to check it out. All right, just credit to them. Yeah. So like I was saying, so this kid, actually, from the day that he stepped his, foot on earth, so this day has grown that much, and then now sentiment sets in. So he's able to look at you and then smile and all that. And at a point in time, we know that our mommies and our parents around the world had to, tell us, either sing for us. I mean, it could be lullaby or anything, just to get us to sleep. All those process of, and time being passed by was the fact that we were learning, right? We were learning through observation, right? Because you could look at someone and stare at the person for several minutes and several times and several hours, right? Until the person leaves there, you never stop staring at the person. So this is to say that when we talk about the fact that we were observing and learning, it doesn't have to be written, right? It can be, just unwritten, and then we are learning throughout this process. Now, this is what I want you to think about. The first day you actually came on earth, this is how your brain, was like. It had nothing in it, right? It had absolutely nothing in it. You couldn't think, and then you do a lot of things, and everyone observe you, and it sounds and seems so strange to everyone, right? And this is where your brain, was. But with time, your brain developed, right? With time, you were able to train your brain, and the only reason why you were able to train your brain could have been possibly because of the things that you see around you, right? So if you live in a house, in a house, and let's just assume that the first 10 years or 20 years of your life, you only lived within a compound, right? You never came out. The point is, you will be able to identify, the human beings and the very things that are just around you. But when you come out there, it will be all different things together, right? So in order for you to be smart, in order for you to be knowledgeable, you have to be exposed to some sort of environment. And that is why it's even good that we travel around the world and then get to see things that we never saw, right? And so that's human being. This is us, right? And that is a definition of human beings being intelligent. Intelligence, as the word, is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge, right? And skills, right? So our ability to acquire knowledge and apply skills is termed as intelligent. But the key point we have to think about is actually knowledge, right? And knowledge is actually the fact and information, right? That and skills acquired through, it could be through education, it could be through our experiences with social life, right? It could be anything, right? And this could be theoretical or practical. So you could actually watch a movie, and then maybe I have never seen lion before. I don't know about most of the people out there, but if you point, if you show me a picture of a lion, I'll be able to tell you that this is a lion, right? We have many things that we never saw it, like, I mean, physically, but virtually, we are able to see all these things, right? And because we see them consistently, our brain is kind of trained, yeah? It goes through training, and then we are able to understand that, okay, this is, this is human being, this is that, and this is, you get the idea. And just to mention that, we also, learn through speech. It could be sound. It could be through vision, right? And similarly, if we say that machines have to mimic, nature or human beings, then it actually means that machines should also be able to see, understand, hear, and speak. And even begin to reason, right? So these are some of the things that machines should be able to do. And so that is to talk about natural intelligence. So natural intelligence would specifically be on the fact that biological living creatures with brains have the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills, right? And that would be the key definition that we take away when we talk about natural intelligence, right? Because since there is artificial intelligence, there has to be, an explanation to natural intelligence, right? So our ability to be able to acquire knowledge and apply skills and all that is defined as natural intelligence. So if a machine can also mimic this behavior of human beings, then it's actually artificial intelligence, right? So that being said, let me just take you on some series of things that we should, be mindful and be remembered on, okay? And so I have some definitions here. So a step beyond programming for every single possible outcome, and in if then else loops are actually defined as AI, right? So before we could actually write programs as software developers, we can write programs, right? But the softwares that we write their ability to be able to improve their outputs based on some inputs provided is actually when we need artificial intelligence, right? So just a quick note. So computers learn by they learn without explicitly being programmed, and that is artificial intelligence. So when we talk about AI, then that is the same as artificial intelligence. Then we want to also talk about the fact that we need a lot of data, right? Because naturally, we human beings have been exposed to similar thing for a very long time, and because of that, we are able to pronounce names of it. We are able to identify it and recognize that, okay, this is different from this particular thing, right? But as time goes on, there is something that happens, right? And then we have to adjust to that particular thing, right? So that brings me to talk about Azure Cognitive Services. So imagine that you take your phone today, right? We carry AI along everywhere. So you actually take your phone along today, and then you often need to put password to be able to access resources on your machine, and that's security you are looking for, right? So you put password, and you are the only person who knows the particular password that you've actually placed on that particular phone, right? Today, because our phones have eyes, I mean, they have camera, and they have, they can also hear through the sound system, right? They can also, actually identify that, okay, this is Dawood and this is not, Joshua. And because this is not Joshua, Joshua shouldn't be allowed to use the phone. So mostly, we would see that we take our phones, and then we are able to authenticate ourselves to the phone by saying that, okay, just watch me and then determine who am I, right? And then you would be told that this is Dawood, right? And it's only because that particular system being built into your phone has been trained to be able to identify key features of human beings, right? So it takes into consideration some specific things that is able to recognize that, okay, this is Dawood and this is not Joshua, isn't it? So these are algorithms that are written to be able to remember at a point in time, to be able to give back information when it is being asked, and a lot more. So when we look at facial recognition system, and that is just the example I cited. You've been on Facebook and many other platforms where when a picture is posted about you, instantly it suggests that is this Dawood? Then you'll be like yes or no, right? For you to be able to make decision, to be able to tag Dawood along, right? So similarly, we actually have some key interesting thing that is happening around us. For example, let's talk about speech, for instance, right? And when we talk about speech, when I was in school and I was in the president, my secretary had to take minutes, right, of the meetings that we sit for, and then it would take about 5 hours to 4 hours. It could even be 8 hours sometimes, just sitting in General Assembly meetings. And imagine the stress that this secretary has to go through to be able to write all the things that is being spoken by each and every one, right? And so that the next time we meet, we will be able to say that, okay, yes, so this is actually what we covered during our last sitting, and then we are able to gauge our progress, right? Now, the point is, my secretary could make mistakes, and she made several mistakes because she takes minutes and then she leaves some things out unintentionally, and this is nature, this is natural. So we human beings might be able to do some things, but we are bound to make some specific mistakes, and we can't avoid them, right? So if you think about you think about how AI can be of help in this sense, then assuming that that meeting was actually being recorded, right? That meeting was recorded, and we have some sort of AI, right? You know, being able to, take this, audio system and then translate it to test or written test, right? Then it will be great, right? So actually, we have AI systems across the globe and big companies in particular who are able to, actually take this audio. I mean, during meetings, they just place it there, and then it's able to take minutes of whatever is happening. And this also we know about Microsoft Teams and a lot of other apps that you are able to talk, and instantly it's able to hear you, understand, and then write what exactly you are saying to the people, right? Like live caption in Teams. So we have a huge amount of things that we are doing as people across the globe, that AI is playing a huge part of it, right? But if you are not if you are not told, sometimes you might be there thinking about the fact that when is AI really going to change the world? AI is already doing that. The slide I wrote, for instance, right? I just had to put in some pictures and then give it some text, and PowerPoint is able to take the slide and suggest some designs to me, and I'm able to select that. Okay, this is the design ideas, right? So this is the design that I want to use, right? So AI is happening. So cognitive services is actually Azure Cognitive Services, API based service. So like you write your you build your AI models and all that, and you are able to access them through APIs, right? Okay, and also, so the ability for us to be able to build application that can see, hear, understand, and even begin to reason is what we term as Azure Cognitive Services, right? So we've by now understood what exactly AI is, right? What artificial intelligence is, right? So the ability for machines to be able to mimic what we human beings are doing can be said to be artificial intelligence. And it's happening, and it's changing a lot about what we are doing. Like for example, the ones I cited, facial recognition, minute taking, and talking about PowerPoint design ideas, talking about Teams, what is built into it. Many applications are beginning to use AI, right? So AI grow in our society, right? So if you think about it critically, AI is saving us time, right? And AI is saving us time, and we as human beings need to be smart enough to adjust to what exactly AI is trying to help us with. Because if we are not smart, the truth is that a time would come where what we used to do, many jobs, would not be in existence, right? Because AI can do them and do them smartly. My secretary might not have to take minutes anymore because AI can do that particular job and do it very perfect for me, right? So how is it changing our future? That is AI. From the series of examples that I gave, we can see that as it's changing the future, it's changing the way we do things, right? It is able to take tests, and even far from that, right? Taking those minutes, it can take them and even determine some sentiment analysis and a lot of things that goes within it. So I would actually be showcasing some few things from the built by Microsoft that actually does a perfect job for us. So my intention with this session is actually to make you understand AI with ease. All right, referring to how you human beings actually came into being, right? All of us came into being, right? Okay, so let me just share my screen, and I'm hoping that I don't have any huge problem with it. Okay, awesome. So with this, we are all able to visit our browser, that is aidemos.microsoft.com, and we can see some few AI, hands-on AI down here. So that brings me to the point to talk about test analytics, to talk about machine teaching, to talk about language understanding, Luis, to talk about video indexer, to talk about computer vision. And I don't know for you, but I have actually been there. I mean, when I had no knowledge of AI, and crazily, I take an image, and I want to just drag my mouse over it to be able to copy the text, right? I mean, to extract the text from it. I mean, it's impossible, but I do the impossible things as well. So where I try my best to extract that particular content, it's not possible, right? It's not possible. But with artificial intelligence, right, and computer vision, you can actually extract this particular content with the OCR to be able to extract content from just image, right? So let me just make mention of a few of them. Let's just try it out, some few demos, and see what exactly we are talking about. Okay. So where do we begin? Maybe we should begin with some test analytics. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, we have some tests here. These are all available in your browser, so you can just try them out and see for yourself how AI actually works. Okay, so I'm just going to say that I am feeling so excited today, and then I'll click on next step. Okay, and so yes, so the test analytics is going to take my word that I said and then run it through, the AI model and be able to determine the sentiment within what I just spoke, right? And you can see that 91% this is actually positive. And before I even move further, let me also take some slow pace to tell you about one thing you might have actually seen. In real life, you might have met people maybe once in your life, and then after 5 years or 4 years, you actually meet these people again, or this person, and your brain quickly begins to think about, hey, do I actually know Oswald, right? And then just that split second, decision is supposed to be taken, right? So this is when probability comes in. So we actually think about 0 to 1, how likely am I to know Oswald, right? And if I have 0.5 or 0.7, then I know this is highest, right? It tells me that, hey, you actually know Oswald, right? And I can call Oswald and tell Oswald that, hey, I think we met over here before. Then we start to connect again. But if that interpretation gives me something around 0.4, 0.3, then it's actually telling me that, hey, you do not know, or I'm in doubt, right? And because of that, I wouldn't even take the next move of telling calling Oswald, because who knows? As human beings, our emotions come into play with anything that we do. So you might just call the person, and then you tend to have huge problem with that particular person. So you see, test analytics playing a key role here, being able to judge between 0 to 1 and say that, hey, I think what you said is actually quite positive. So we see it in action, and some keywords can be underlined for us, okay, as part of what we just said. And yeah, and let me just try and then see to it that we do one more trial. Okay, so this is when I say that I am not feeling well. All right, so and then I pass it through my AI model, and yeah, so it's performed its magic, and then you can see that the sentiment with it is actually 2%, which means that this is actually a negative comment, right? It means that I'm actually not feeling well, and that is sad. Okay, so that is to pass through our test analytics. So this is actually built by Microsoft, and it's just here for you to actually try it out. There are tons of things within the Microsoft AI ecosystem. All right, so let me just click on language understanding as well, which is Luis. So this is where you are actually being able to build with Luis. You are able to build applications, right? Conversational bots that are able to judge intent, right? And be able to, have smooth conversation with you and even do massive work for you. So Luis actually uses, the natural language understanding. So it's able to understand when you just speak a word, right? And some of these are actually built into many other applications. Take Power BI or Power Business Intelligence, for instance, where you are able to just query and say, hey, can you tell me which country has, the maximum cases of this? And it's able to tell you that, okay, yes, this particular, country has, that maximum cases of that, right? So this is where natural language, come into play. So with Luis, you are able to build application, machine learning-based service to build natural language into apps, but IoT devices and a lot more, right? So let me just go back because of time, and then let's see this in action as well. And it's pretty easy to actually start doing some of this amazing stuff on Microsoft Azure. It's really easy for you to, you don't need to code more, and that brings that I'll mention it at the end. So let's take a video for instance, right? So with the video indexer, right? So the video indexer also makes it possible for one to be able to determine how many times someone came within a scene, what are some of the things the person said, you understand, and all that. So let me just click on the first video, which is Satya Nadella video right here. And you can see that it tells you that, it highlights the characters right here, and it tells you that he appeared 7 times in total of 22.50% of the video, right? And when you play this video for a while, you actually even get more information about, from the person that is displayed, the key topics, the sentiments, at a point whether he is happy, sad, showing remorse or something, and all that. So this gives you a very cool ability for you to test what the video indexer does within Microsoft AI, okay? I'm skipping of playing the video because I know my network can jam up if I try to do play it. Okay, so which one? Computer vision. Okay, can extract rich information from images to categorize and process visual data and perform machine-assisted moderation. And this in particular, I mentioned it earlier, where I was actually trying my hands on, trying to just get content of, a video, right? Now, the point is, with all these powerful innovations and being given to us, right, with the Microsoft, so Azure Cognitive Services, we as developers don't even have to, go back to learning data science from scratch just to catch up with the AI ecosystem, right? We can really utilize Microsoft AI services that are being built, and then we'll be able to build smart and intelligent applications that are able to, make meaningful to our life. We don't need to build everything from scratch, right? So let me just try, and then let's see one particular platform in action. Okay, just a quick one. Hope you don't feel me my internet. Okay. Yeah, so whilst we're having this discussion, I'm just sharing my key interest of, getting you either started in AI, or if you've never met some of these, services with which Microsoft offers, you should be able to get your hands around it, right? And then understanding it is very easy. You just need to relate it to your real life situations. Okay, I would be demoing some quick apps, okay, for you, and yeah, so let's see how my internet performs. I guess I should run this with AI as well. Okay, so just a few more. Let's see how it looks. Let me think exit one. Okay, yeah, so this is the This is also another place for you to read more on what you really want to achieve. Either it's going to be object recognition, speech recognition, machine translation, and huge stuff. You have huge resources at hand for you to be able to do whatever you want to achieve, right? So awesome. Just some few minutes. I think everything will be loaded. Okay. So no matter your background, being a web developer, an Android developer, you should be able to take leverage on some of these particular things built by Microsoft and be able to use them to make your organization good. So before I go to Power Apps and then try to show you some easy way you can even build applications more quickly, all right, is for us to talk about the Azure Cognitive Search, okay? So I think later in this series of AI sessions, Seth is going to be handling, I saw it as part of his session, is going to be handling something about Azure Cognitive Search, okay? Where you are able to take, whether image, whether PDF, and many others, and be able to, convert them into real and actual data, which will be searchable, and you can even convert it back to databases. So that is actually one of the interesting sessions you should be ready to learn from. Okay, so let's see. Is Power App ready? Okay, just I don't think I need to load it again. I think it's supposed to be able to load. And this is probably my internet, of course. Okay, so once it loads, what I'm going to demonstrate to you is actually on the basics that once in one of the workshop I ran, we built an application, and then it was supposed to be able to recognize an object, and when we gave the AI model that particular object, the AI model told us a false information. So someone asked me that is AI really smart because it can't even determine this particular object, right? And if we see it in action, so this is actually where you need to feed your AI model with a huge amount of data, right? So that it can be able to be smart and be able to reason. Because even us as human beings, in relation to the child and where you were born, actually you realize that you weren't that smarter, right? You only became smarter when you were actually exposed to lot of data, right? So artificial intelligence also need this sort of data to be able to go smart, okay? So this is Power Apps, if you've never met it as well. So in Power Apps, we have the AI Builder, and the AI Builder helps you to be able to, build AI models very quickly, which are able to solve great, things for you. Okay, so let me just click on the model. Okay, and we see some of the few things in handy. So we don't need to go back from scratch, build things sometimes, we can just leverage on some of these services and we should be good to go, right? We should be able to build applications that are just smart like human beings are. So let me just load it and then we see it in action. Okay, sorry. Okay, just so sorry for my internet delays. It's just something normal, I know, with me. And awesome. So is this going to load a bit? Yeah, it's just a network, but it will be in soon, I think so.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. You mentioned Lewis just while this is loading. You mentioned the Lewis framework. Have you had a chance to build bots before? And if so, what did you build one for?
Yeah, come again. You mean did I use Lewis to be able to build a bot?
Yes.
Yeah. So so that makes me to mention being a Microsoft student partner. So we actually have a project. I mean, we lived within Microsoft Teams, right? And then we know that people frequently ask some questions. So we took some minutes, some moments out of our time to just go to Microsoft Azure and then create a quick bot and go to Louis and then be able to, create intent and then match it up with, our bot. And then our bot is actually smart enough to be able to answer or provide answers to some of the frequent things being asked. The bot is not still deployed. I mean, it's still, we are yet to deploy it, but very well, it is actually being monitored by our program managers, and it's actually smart. Yes, so yes, I've actually used Louis to be able to build a bot.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks. Yeah, so we can see some few things that are here. We have form processing, we have object detection, we have prediction, we have test classification, and a lot more things that are here to just help you. This will not just help you to be able to build applications, right? It won't just help you to be able to build models, but it will also help you to be able to build a complete set of applications that can just be used on your phone within a matter of minutes, okay? So let me just click on object detection, okay? Just see it in action. So we don't have to do, the many things behind the scene. We just have to give this AI model a name. So let's say human, or let me just say, I think one perfect example that was used by one Microsoft student partner, Vedant, was Nemo. So let's call our AI model, the Nemo Finder, which will be able to detect that, okay, this is actually Nemo, okay? So I'll just click on create. Okay, and then this should be super fast, I guess. Okay, and so this is actually going to create, we are going to create an AI, model which will be able to detect Nemo within a particular application, all right? I'm just going to show you the sample. I know my time is, catching up, but I just want to expose you to some of these few things that you should know. I mean, a lot of people have done from the session since it started 14 hours ago on various technologies have been, AI models have been built and all. So you just need to know some of this behind the scenes. So let me just, so over here, we can choose, let's choose common objects, okay? And I'll click on, okay, next. And once I click on next, here I'll be asked to choose object for my model to detect, okay? And I can click here and give my object a name. So maybe this is where I get to give it a name called Nemo, and I'll click on next. And you can see this is pretty easy, just super amazing. You just need to do some few clicks, and then all the work will be done for you, right? And this as much as AI is catching up and then going to render some jobs, I mean, not so important. Microsoft is also building awesome AI-based solutions that you can just, call them into your application, and then you'll be able to use them, right? So here you'll be able to upload some set of image. The truth is you need to upload images that are really like, I mean, are really are many in numbers, right? Just like I said, if you saw a particular person once, it is actually very hard for you to be able to determine that, okay, this particular person is the one I met, right? But if you see the person several times, it is easy for you to be able to detect that, okay, this is the person. And one thing I wanted to show you with this is actually the fact that when I tell my AI model that, okay, this is Dawood, right? It will be able to say that, okay, yeah, so this is Dawood. I don't have some cool images of, yeah, but when I upload, all my set of images, and it will be actually better if I upload about 150 images plus, right? So that my AI model is able to be smart and to determine that, okay, this is what Dawood is trying to build, right? But let me just say only one for now. And it will actually be better if I provided 15, but I will just provide one. Now, the good thing is that just like you are teaching a kid how to speak and understand, as you click on that particular image, I mean, all your 50 images, you are able to click on them, and then you give them a label, right? So I'll just click on that particular image right there. Okay. Okay, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, so I'll tag this as, Nemo. I should have given it like, I mean, Dawood, right? So that it's able to detect me. So the point is, once you are done providing a huge amount of images and you have been able to tag them by giving them names and all that, you should be able to have a super intelligence application being created. And this would actually require that we need 15 images. And because of that, we can't go to the next step. But you can see in action that we are just left with a couple of clicks. And once we are done, our AI model would be ready for us to be able to try it out. All right. So I just want you to take some time. We have huge amount of time. You can reach me on any parts. I mean, social media, Dawood Iddris, and I'll be able to assist you. And this is actually easy. You should be able to build this from now. Okay, so I know I'm left with some few more minutes, but just to quickly wrap up on some few things that we both discussed right here. I mean, all of us discussed right here, is that AI is actually smarter because it has a lot of data. Just like human beings, when we came into Earth, we were exposed to huge amount of things through observations, and then sounds that we hear and all that, and that made us smarter. Until then, we were just like this particular image where we couldn't really think to that far to behave intelligently, right? But with the ability of all the data that we've been able to gather, we are able to build a massive knowledge, right? And knowledge built from series of data that we have, and then we are able to be smart enough, right? And similarly, AI is also smart because of the fact that it could we could give it ability, we could give our devices ability to be able to think, understand, and begin to reason. So this is actually in short what you should know about AI, and it shouldn't be really difficult for you to be able to wrap your mind around AI from now. Okay, so I think I would end here, and then one thing that I just need to make sure I actually mention is that yes, we are going to be smarter, and we human beings have to be smart enough, because with time, what we are doing would be done by machines, and the only way we can still survive greatly is actually when we are smarter. So we need to work aggressively to make sure technology matches our values. And this was a word said by Eric, I can't mention the other name, Brian Forsen, director of MIT Initiative on the Digital Economy. Thank you.
So thank you. That was really great. And I hadn't seen the AI builder yet. And thank you for walking us through that. So as
Awesome.
far as we do have a couple of minutes. So if you're a viewer and you do have a question, feel free to go into chat.globalai.community and type them in there. But I did have a question as far as learning curves, and I don't have a programming background. So how long did it take you to get comfortable using the Power Apps interface? And I've heard a lot of great things about it. So
Yeah, awesome. So actually, I think when did I first hear about Power Apps? Just trying to remember. I'm sure, I'm quite sure I heard of it first time this year. Yeah, this year. I heard of Power Automate somewhere last year, but yes, with Power Apps, I actually heard of it this year. And it just took me some couple of, weeks or a week to be able to do amazing stuff, because once you get on the platform, it's super easy for you to be able to create application. It's just with some couple of clicks. I've actually built some cool tutorials. I'm sure I should be releasing it very. I've actually recorded those tutorials, and I'm sure I should be able to release it very soon. So it just takes you like a week, and then you'll get yourself comfortable with the interface, be able to build screens and put in buttons, and then and all that. So it's really easy. I'm super sure that within 1 hour, someone being exposed to Power Apps for that particular hour should be able to build cool applications, really, really cool ones.
Okay, and thank you. And we also noticed that you're a Microsoft student partner. Would you like to tell us a little bit about what that is and what you get to do as part of that program?
Yeah, awesome. Yes, I would love to share that. And so, as Microsoft student partners are actually on-campus leaders, and our job is actually to get our communities up and running with the latest technology. So we promote, we teach people technologies, not just promote Microsoft technologies, but we give people knowledge on technology or things that are really required in the industry. For example, cloud computing, and even also the power apps, and many technologies that really makes people smarter. And I think that is the Microsoft Student Partner is actually a great program because targeting university students. You get the community all across the globe. I mean, you are about 2,000 people within the program, and you are able, because of the diverse nature of it, you're able to share knowledge and resources together, and build yourself and build knowledge and be able to inspire your community. So really, that is about the Microsoft Student Partner Program. It's targeted towards university students, and you should be. It just takes some few more steps for you to be able to apply. Just go to studentpartners.microsoft.com, and then you should be good to go.
Okay, so thank you. We loved the energy and the content. Comments from the viewers are great session and thumbs up. So thank you
Awesome.
for joining us.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be here and then share what exactly I have in memory for people. And also, just to mention that we run most sessions every week on MSP Inspire, so you can find us on Twitter. We run sessions over there, build from various technologies, and that is what Microsoft Student Partners come together to do. Thank you so much for having me here. I've enjoyed my stay here, and I hope this should take you very far.
Thank you.